The following is a transcript of a conversation between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am. 28th November 2020. Pressure. Me. And once I've gotten to the bottom of the depressive pit, I am. You feel the pressure of the world on you. The human is a being who was born under pressure. Conception happens by the pressure of one body penetrating the other. Development and gestation occur before the pressure of the organs and the push of the body opening space. Birth happens by the pressure of the maternal body. Childbirth is a moment of great pressure. The lungs feel air pressure when they first enter, while blood pressure begins to pump blood to all ends of the body. The pressure of the clothes, the pressure of the arms of the mother and father, the intestinal pressure, and the pressure you must perform for the first bowel movements. The pressure of light in the retina of the eyes, the atmospheric pressure at the slightest changes in climate, the pressure of temperature in the skin, the pressure of gravity that presses the body on the surface of the earth, the pressure of looks, the pressure of crying, the pressure of food entering through the esophagus, and as it grows, the pressure from parents to eat well, to finish what is on the plate, the pressure to speak and say his first words and take his first steps, the pressure to behave, receiving the first scolding and punishment, the pressure to socialize, to go to school, the pressure to learn, to study, to behave, hormonal pressure, the pressure of growth felt in bones and muscles, the pressure to fall in love, the pressure of mockery that comes with all psychological and emotional pressure, the pressure to comply with the mandates of the family, with the norms of society and culture, the unconscious pressure to fit into the world, to be accepted, the pressure to pass an exam, to finish studies, to find a university career, the pressure to grow up, to have responsibilities, the pressure to survive month to month, the pressure of a job and a schedule, to be the best, the pressure of the world that expects you to be what they have proposed for you, and the pressure of your own internal that pushes for you to be as others expect. And there you find the pressure of your being, which tells you in morality what is right and what is wrong, and pressures you to be the best version of yourself. The pressure you place on your expectations and beliefs, and there the pressure of the financial crisis, the emotional crisis, the existential crisis. Then you find the pressure of the soul looking for freedom, the pressure that leads you to sinking, to depression, and deep down you find the pressure of the spirit that pushes you to radiate your light, and the pressure of the inner path, the spiritual path, begins. And there you discover the pressure of mission, of having a purpose, the pressure to fulfill a greater and common good for others and for the planet. You feel the messianic pressure, the pressure of existence, and then you realize that you are pressed by space and your limitations, pressed by time compressing your being, wearing it out, pressed by the gravity of the moon and the planets, pressed by the universe. And when you encounter the cosmos, you feel pressured by the search for coherence, harmony, your divinity. And one day, all that pressure becomes a moment of epiphany, where all the pressures that you have experienced step by step before are all felt together. And there you feel the pressure of all existence itself. And that pressure is such that the only thing you can feel, me, is nothing, empty. I am. Freedom. How many times have we said it? Me. The sum of all forces is equal to 0. I am. Life is a constant path of pressures of all kinds. The path of existence is a path of pressures. It is your perspective that will decide to see it as a death or a birth. There is no one outside to put pressure on you. It is yourself pushing yourself to bring out the best in you. And those who fail to see this, faint, perish along the way, are recycled. Me. Many times I was about to fall into it. When I was 16 years old and I began to remember everything, my teenage mind could not process what I saw, the responsibility for things that today should not affect me, the universe itself, too great a weight on me that I did not understand. And the pressure was incalculable. It was hard for me to breathe, and sometimes I even forgot to do it. Sometimes I thought about taking my own life to end the pressure. I am. Commit suicide. Me. Yes, I have thought about it. Release tension. End everything once and for all. And the suffering of remembering so many deaths, of remembering so many loved ones who no longer existed, of remembering terrible things that had been done to me and that I had done, of remembering my mission and feeling too much responsibility that a child could not understand, living schizoid situations, seeing beings, entities, extraterrestrials. I believed that I was going crazy and that nobody would listen to me, that it would be impossible to transmit all this in a coherent way. I preferred to die, to finish it. Committing suicide seemed like the option. I am. And why didn't you? Me. For several reasons. One, I would not bear to leave those I love today in apathy and suffering for a selfish decision. Another didn't have enough courage to do something that requires too much courage. And on the other hand, I remembered what happens next. I am. After what? Me. From when one dies, and above all, a suicide. The pressure does not end. Only the physical tension is released from the biological pressures. But the psychological pressures are not finished. They are released there, and they have free rein. What once controlled the liver, the spleen, the gallbladder, the kidneys, is now free in the boundless mind of the fourth dimension. The sorrows, pressures, ideas, preconceptions, emotions that I felt before now become reality in the mind when before they were absorbed by matter and recycled. It is true that one can get out of that situation, but it takes a lot of effort and time, nothing to do with overcoming an emotion in the matter. I am. A suicide lives the pressure of the dimension without time, lives the pressure of his own thought repeating itself again and again. There is no hell for the suicide. His hell is his own mind. And if he manages to change his thought, he will be able to free himself. But you must recognize the pressure. You must understand that only he or she is generating it. Me. Yes, I know. It's a mental trap that you create yourself. That's why, when I remember how everything is in the fourth dimension, I say to myself, suicide is not the escape. It requires courage in matter, but it is a solution for the mentally and emotionally weak. That's why I never got to finish it. The greatest pressure you put on yourself is on the mind, not on life. I am. Change your mind and you will change your life. Me. Yes. However, what you say is true. It is intense to see how everything is a constant pressure, from the moment we are born until we die. Thinking about it like this is exhausting. The universe was created to pressure us. Why? I am. We've talked about this once. Energy expands in the universe, but in its expansion, the only thing it seeks is to contract. The interior seeks to expand to the outside, and the exterior seeks to return to the interior. This constant bidding generates the constant heartbeat of universal creation. Positive and negative do not depart from each other, but contract, attract, seek to unite, to complement a global vision of things. As in a magnet, they are the opposing forces that seek union and generate energy. Thus, the universe manifests, generates realities, through energies that expand, as paradoxically seek to reconnect. This causes the waves to become particles, accumulation of vibrations, and the particles to become atoms, and these molecules, and these chemicals, and these organisms, and these inorganic beings or organic beings, and these into living beings. It is the expansion of the universe that allows for the diversity of entities, but it is contraction that orders particles to form individual beings. Hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon atoms are compressed to find order. Their pressure force molds them into different entities, formations, organisms, generating evolution. From the core of a star in any galaxy to the most subtle creature on any planetary surface, the same atoms have only found a form of order based on the pressure they feel from gravity. A being on the surface of a world with the right temperature and atmosphere will allow carbon to be ordered in such a way that it will allow the development, evolution, and creation of intelligent tissues that exchange energy and data. But the more pressure you feel, being in the Earth's crust or in magma or in the core, the number of atmospheres will compress carbon molecules, making what was once a muscle become bone, from bone to stone, from stone to crystal, and from crystal to diamond. Me. Diamond is the same carbon molecule that makes up our bodies, but under much more pressure. I am. Every living thing has the ability to become mineral under a lot of pressure. Me. It reminds me of the bodies found in Pompeii, Italy, bodies that were burned by the eruption of Vesuvius under a lot of molten rock pressure, which petrified the villagers, leaving them for eternity arranged in the same position with which they were hit by the explosion. It is almost a metaphor for how a person under a lot of pressure in life must feel, petrified, rigid before beliefs, attitudes, ways of being and feeling, trapped in the crystallization of pressure. I am. The universe, from its molecular state, seeks pressure with a single objective, to discover potential. People discover what they are capable of in the face of great pressure in life. Those who take pressure as a sign of what they can get out of themselves blossom, just as a seed sprouts in the pressure of the earth, just as the most beautiful mountain emerges from the pressure of plates, just as a child is born by the pressure of the female body, just as a diamond shines from the pressure of magma. Growing up hurts, they say. Perhaps that is why in Spanish the words adolescent and adolecer tend to be so similar, and at the same time relate so much, despite the fact that one refers to the act of growing up and the other to the act of suffering pain. Me. When we realize things, it hurts. You feel the weight on our shoulders, but then a release, as if the same pressure releases me. It's time for vacuum, for maximum pressure. There arises the adrenaline, which can do everything. At that moment when you have hit the bottom and feel all the pressure, the expansive force arises. As I said, the universe, from its void, proposes pressure as a way of showing our qualities, because the pressure of the negative and the positive is what generates realities. The cosmos only follows patterns of putting the positive and negative under great pressure, and thus being able to manifest the potential of the spirit, its divine essence. That is why you shine after crises. That is why you discover your inner strength in the face of conflict. That is why you light up after martyrdom. That is why you expand after having contracted. Me. Is it necessary, then, to feel pressure? I am. Absolutely. What is not necessary is to suffer. That's a choice. Suffering is a state of mind, difficult to manage, because bodies and beliefs have based their development on suffering and have been embodied in the way humans evolve. However, to suffer is to be under the iron, to feel the pressure from the unconsciousness of how I got there. Suffering is the pressure of the unconscious, of which it does not know the reasons for this weight, and seeks to get rid of it without awareness of the purpose, only to satisfy its comfort and appearance of happiness. When you put awareness to pressure, there is no suffering. There is only adrenaline, morphine, and endorphin. Me. I understand. And consciousness is giving meaning, purpose to that pressure, knowing that everything I live that pressures me has a role of formation on my person, on the tool of being. I am. So, don't be afraid of pressure. Just be aware that it's the universe trying to turn your carbon into diamond. Me. I am a diamond in the form of a human. I am. And the pressure of the cosmos will take you into the void of the universe, where you can see it shine, igniting the force of who you are, of your manifesting and creative power. Take everything that presses you and unite it in you, and remember that you are a seed under which the pressure of the world hopes to become a gigantic tree.